Meantime, Tennessee lawmakers are holding a special session on public safety later on today, following a deadly school shooting in Nashville back in March. The session will likely focus on measures surrounding school resources, mental health, and harsher penalties. Tennessee State Representative Justin J. Pearson is joining us now. He held a Protect Kids Not Guns event over the weekend, and he is a member of the Tennessee Three, the Democrats who were expelled after holding a gun control protest on the House floor. Actually, just two of you were expelled. Your fellow protester, Gloria Johnson, she was not expelled. You have since regained that seat, though, after special elections, which I think would suggest that the people that you represent didn't mind the fact that you participated in this protest. In fact, when you look at the polling in Tennessee, increasingly there has been a push towards more gun control. And in fact, even the governor is supporting this. What is likely to be discussed on the floor today?
We in District 86 and across the state want to see gun safety legislation that protects kids, not guns, that lifts up the voices of those who have been hurt and affected by gun violence. We also held a vigil yesterday and heard uncles and mothers and loved ones talking about the consequences of gun violence and the fact that this epidemic is having a harmful effect across our state and across our community. And we were hopeful that this special session would be an opportunity for us to address this issue head on, but it looks like the National Rifle Association, the Tennessee Firearms Association, and the American Firearms Association twisted the arms and the hearts of our governor and the leadership here at the Republican Party at the Tennessee General Assembly to really pushing for legislation, advocating for things that won't address the issue of gun violence head on. Instead, we're having red herrings about human trafficking or even some things mentioning mental health. And if we pass a gun safety storage law, one of the things that has to happen is it cannot have any penalties or consequences. And so we really have to have a moral, courageous imagination of leaders who are rising up and speaking up and not cowering down to the lobbyists who don't really care about our kids.
How is a law enforced if there's no penalty associated with it? How is that even a thing?
Yeah, there won't be an enforcement mechanism, which again is to pass a law that on the face looks like it's having an impact and addressing the issue, but in actuality is not meeting the needs of our community, which is why we're going to have thousands of people, probably tens of thousands of people today marching, and why we're going to continue to advocate from our office here in District 86 in Memphis and Millington and Shelby County to say we have to do something to stop this from being the number one killer of our children in our state.
What is your top priority for this special session? What is a victory for you?
Yeah, we have written 15 pieces of legislation. 9 of them have been approved. Some of our legislation has been denied because we were told that it was outside of the scope of the governor's call. And those were the things dealing specifically with something like banning of assault weapons. And for us, we want to see all of our legislation pass, including the research on the disproportionate impact of gun violence. We want to see our legislation pass dealing with gun safety storage, and hopefully we can put more teeth on it during session next year. And the other reality is the Republican Party in Tennessee oftentimes pushes a lot of bad legislation that doesn't meet the needs of the community. And so part of our job and responsibility is going to be to try and stop those pieces of legislation from going forward, just as we did when a member of the Tennessee Republican Party advocated for lynching. We have to stop some of the bad pieces of law from moving forward.
Is there a starting point? Is there common ground that you can see with your Republican colleagues to at least, have the beginning of an agreement?
Most definitely. I believe the folks in Tennessee want for us to agree. Over 70% of people, including MAGA Republicans, are saying they want to see something done about gun safety legislation, such as extreme risk protection orders, universal background checks, and gun safety storage laws. Those are great places for us to start. We can't compromise on our principles of the need to protect children rather than the Tennessee Firearms Association, but we can ensure that we prioritize the people who are being impacted and hurt the most. Gun violence is the number one killer of children in the state of Tennessee. We're in the top 10 states for gun violence-related deaths and injuries. We have a responsibility to do everything that we can as lawmakers, not just offering thoughts and prayers. Because when you are elected into these positions, you have the capacity to actually affect change. And now is the time for us to do that with all the energy and all the resources that we have to truly make a difference.
A lot of people look to Washington, D.C., but I really do think that state legislatures and state houses, where the rubber meets the road, and D.C. will sometimes look to these state houses So, Representative Justin J. Pearson, thank you for your time. I know a lot of people are going to be watching this special session and what comes out of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's keep going.